Have you ever noticed how a single word from a stranger can ruin your entire day? Your morning is peaceful, coffee's still warm, everything's fine. Until a driver cuts you off, a coworker makes a snide comment, a family member raises their voice, and just like that, your calm is gone. But here's the real question. Who took it from you? Was it them, or did you give it away? We like to believe we're in control of our time, our routine, our mood. But the truth is more humbling. We are not disturbed by events themselves. We are disturbed by the judgments we attach to them. Epictetus said that, and he was right. The world is full of noise. People are emotional, reactive, irrational. You can't stop that, but you can stop yourself from becoming like them. This isn't about suppressing anger, it's about transcending it, because the moment you react, you've already given up your power. In this video, we're going deep into how to take that power back, how to stay calm, grounded, and unbothered, no matter what the world throws at you. This isn't just a mindset, it's a way of life. It's Stoicism. Part 1. The root of anger is an illusion. Anger feels real. It burns in your chest, tightens your jaw, fuels your words with fire. But if you pause, just for a moment, you'll see the truth. Anger doesn't come from what happened. It comes from what you think happened. Every outburst starts with a story. They disrespected me. They shouldn't have said that. They crossed the line. But here's the twist. You wrote that story. And if you wrote it, you can rewrite it. Marcus Aurelius understood this. In the middle of war, betrayal, and pressure, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He wasn't in a monastery. He was Emperor of Rome. If he could stay calm, you can too. So, what really causes anger? Not the insult, not the disrespect, not the person. It's your expectations. You expect people to be kind. You expect life to be fair. You expect others to behave the way you want them to. And when they don't, you suffer. But that suffering isn't caused by the world. It's caused by the illusion you created in your mind. The Stoics taught a radical truth. Nothing that happens is inherently bad. Only your opinion makes it so. Part 1. Anger is a choice, not a sentence. Someone wronged you, and now you're angry. Why? Because you believed they shouldn't have done it. Let that sink in. Anger only arises when expectation collides with reality. And once you realize that anger is optional, it loses its grip. The storm you thought came from the outside, it was inside you the whole time. This is where your power begins. Reframing is your superpower. Instead of seeing disrespect, see insecurity. Instead of seeing betrayal, see fear or weakness. Instead of seeing an attack, see a wounded person in pain. When you stop taking everything personally, you begin to rise above it. Seneca, one of the great Stoics, warned us, anger is like temporary madness. It strikes fast. It blinds. It takes control. So what's the cure? Detach. Observe. Question the story. Is this really about me? Or is this person simply acting out their own inner struggle? Most of the time, it's not about you. It's about them. Their stress, their past, their pain, their chaos. And when you see that clearly, you no longer carry their burden. Here's the truth most people never realize. You can't control what others do. You can't control traffic, insults, rudeness, or betrayal. But you can always control how you interpret it. And interpretation is everything. So the next time that heat rises in your chest, pause. Ask yourself, what story am I telling myself right now? And is that story worth my peace? 9 times out of 10, it's not. Anger feeds on illusion. But peace is born from clarity. and clarity is what Stoicism offers. When you see anger for what it truly is, a trick of perception, you begin to walk a new path, one where your emotions are no longer held hostage by the behavior of others. That, right there, is the beginning of true strength. Part 2. Building a mental shield. Now, imagine carrying a shield, not made of steel, not made of wood, but forged from the quiet, unshakable strength of your mind. This is the mental armor Stoicism teaches us to build, a defense against insults, failures, betrayals, and every emotional arrow life may shoot at you. Here's the key. You can't stop the arrows. You can't stop people from being rude. You can't stop life from being unfair. But you can stop those arrows from piercing your peace. How? By expecting them, preparing for them, training for them. Marcus Aurelius wrote these words over 2,000 years ago. Today I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, arrogance, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness. Not out of bitterness, but out of preparation. Preparation is power. When you expect storms, you're not shaken when they come. When you anticipate insults, they lose their sting. This is how you begin to build your mental shield, not to shut the world out, but to stop it from shaking what's within. Part 2, continued. Strengthen your shield by changing your expectations. When you expect setbacks, you meet them with a calm heart. Building your mental shield starts by retraining your expectations. It means realizing a simple but powerful truth. The world owes you nothing. No one owes you kindness. No one owes you fairness. No one owes you understanding. And yet, you can choose to give all of those things to yourself. You can be kind without expecting kindness in return. You can act with fairness without demanding it back. You can choose to understand others without needing them to understand you. This is how you become untouchable. Not because the world becomes easier, not because people suddenly get better, but because you stop giving them the power to shake your peace. Be like the wall. Think of it like this. If someone throws mud at a stone wall, the wall doesn't scream. It doesn't fight back. It doesn't flinch. It simply lets the mud fall. Be that wall. Not cold, not distant, just immovable in your inner calm. Control your inner dialogue. When something upsetting happens, your first thought should not be, "How dare they?" Instead, let it be, "I knew this could happen. I prepared for it." This is the Stoic mindset. Detach from the drama. See the situation, not the insult. See the facts, not the emotion. When someone attacks you with words, remember, words are just sounds. They only have power if you give them meaning. Strengthen your emotional immune system. Just like your body defends itself against viruses, your mind must learn to defend itself from emotional toxins. Negativity, judgment, criticism, disrespect. These are the germs of the soul. You do not have to let them in. You do not have to let them make you emotionally sick. Seneca reminds us, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Most pain doesn't come from what happened. It comes from how we react, how we overthink, how we relive it over and over again. Your shield is made of two things, preparation and perception. Prepare your mind for hardship. Perceive every challenge as a test, not a threat. Every slight, every insult, every setback, they're all opportunities. Opportunities to practice restraint. Opportunities to build clarity. Opportunities to strengthen your inner shield. And something incredible begins to happen. You stop seeing people as threats. You stop viewing life as a personal attack. Instead, you see training. Life becomes the gym. Every hardship is a weight to lift. Every insult is resistance to push against. You are not building walls to shut out the world. You're building a fortress within yourself, a mind so stable, so clear, so resilient, that nothing outside can break what's inside. This is the power of a fortified mind, a mind trained by wisdom, and it's available to you starting right now. Part 3. Mastering the pause. Pause. There is a space, small, quiet, and powerful. It lives between what happens and how you respond. And in that space lies your freedom. That space is the pause. The pause between someone's insult and your reaction. The pause between frustration and explosion. The pause between emotion and expression. Most people never find it. They get triggered. They react. No thinking, no reflection, just a wave of impulse crashing through. But you are not most people. You're here to master that pause. You're here to choose what happens next, the power to choose. Viktor Frankl, a man who survived the unimaginable, once wrote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." That's what Stoicism teaches. To insert reason before reaction. To slow down the rush of emotion just long enough to ask, is this worth my peace? Is this who I want to be? Anger is fast. But you can be faster. Anger is immediate. It's blind. It rises fast and takes over. But if you can interrupt it just for a moment, you reclaim control. So how do you master the pause? Step 1, breathe. When the fire rises, pause. Inhale, hold, exhale. Let your body calm your mind. You cannot think clearly in chaos. Let your breath be the anchor. Step 2, name it. Say it out loud or in your mind. I'm feeling insulted. I'm feeling disrespected. I'm feeling frustrated. Naming the emotion separates you from it. You are not the emotion. You are the observer of it. Step 3, ask, what would the wise do? Would Marcus Aurelius shout back? Would Seneca slam a door? Would Epictetus give his peace away to a fool? The Stoics weren't weak. They were disciplined. They didn't suppress emotion. They mastered it. They knew this truth. Emotion is not weakness. Being ruled by it is. The discipline of the pause. You will fail. You will forget. You will react too quickly sometimes, but each time you pause, the space grows wider. Each time you succeed, the power becomes yours. It's in this pause that you break the cycle. The cycle of conflict, the cycle of regret, the cycle of pain passed from one person to the next. Someone has to be the one who doesn't react. Someone has to be the one who chooses peace over pride. Why not you? Stillness is strength. Here's the truth. The more you pause, the more powerful you become. Not louder, not harsher, but deeper, wiser, and stronger. You realize that most things don't need a reaction. They need reflection. They need stillness. They need someone brave enough to remain calm. You don't need to fight every battle. You don't need to defend your ego every time it's challenged. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. True strength is calm. True mastery is restraint. And the pause, that quiet space, is where you find both. Part 4, zooming out from self to cosmos. Because in that pause, you've already won. You've chosen your higher self over your lower instincts. You've met insult with inner silence. And nothing is more powerful than that. The world may never notice the battles you refuse to fight. But your soul will. Your peace will. Your future will. This is mastery. Not the absence of emotion, but the ability to feel it, hold it, examine it, and then respond with wisdom, not impulse. That's how you become unshakable. That's how you master the pause. Part 4, zooming out from self to cosmos. You are not the center of the universe, and that's not an insult. It's a liberation. Because the moment you realize how small you are is the same moment your anger loses its grip. Anger thrives on self-importance. My opinion matters most. My time is sacred. How dare they speak to me like that? But zoom out just a little, and those stories start to dissolve. Zoom out further. You are one person, in one city, on one planet, circling one star, in a galaxy of billions, in a universe so vast we can barely imagine it. And suddenly, that rude comment, it's not cosmic, it's not worth your peace. It's a moment, a flicker, a ripple in time. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "All is ephemeral, fame and the famous as well." He didn't see life through the lens of ego, but through the lens of cosmic humility, and that gave him something priceless: perspective. When someone cuts you off in traffic, zoom out. It's just a blip in your story. When a co-worker disrespects you, zoom out. You won't even remember this a year from now. The ego screams, "This matters," but the Stoic whispers, "Does it?" Because the more you zoom out, the smaller the problem becomes. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you start caring about the right things, not about being right, not about being praised, but about living in harmony with nature, reason, and virtue. Zooming out gives you clarity. You begin to see patterns. You realize most people act from pain, not malice. And often, you've done the same. And suddenly, forgiveness becomes easier. Compassion flows more freely. You remember everyone is carrying wounds you cannot see. And when they lash out, it's not about you. It's about the storm inside them. So let them rage. Let them speak. You zoom out. You rise above it. You see the bigger picture. This is how the Stoic becomes untouchable. Not by building walls, but by expanding their vision. Not by suppressing emotions, but by understanding them in context. Not by shrinking the world to fit their ego, but by growing beyond it. Part 5. Cultivating inner peace as a habit. Imagine gazing at Earth from space. All the noise, the conflict, the petty drama, it vanishes into a swirl of blue and white stillness. That vast silence, you carry it within you. It's the cosmic view, a deep awareness that this moment is not everything, and you are so much more than your reactions. So when anger knocks, don't let it shrink your world. Expand your awareness, zoom out, look at the stars, look at the centuries, look at the tiny thread this moment weaves in the vast tapestry of existence. And ask yourself, will this matter when I am dust? Will this insult echo beyond my breath? Will this feeling shape the cosmos? If not, smile. Let it go. That is how you break free, not by fighting fire with fire, but by rising above the flame, by remembering you are stardust passing through, cultivating inner peace. Inner peace is not an accident. It doesn't arrive one lucky morning like a gift. It's built, brick by brick, choice by choice, moment by moment. Peace is a practice, a way of being you commit to, daily. Don't wait for the world to be peaceful. It won't be. People will still be difficult. Life will stay messy. Circumstances will remain unpredictable. The Stoics knew this. That's why they trained, not the world, but their minds. How to build it starts small. Daily reflections, simple reminders, moments of silence. Create space each day to return to yourself. Begin your morning with intention. Before the world's noise floods in, sit, breathe. Tell yourself, today I will encounter selfishness. I will meet ignorance. I will face disrespect. but none of it will steal my peace unless I let it. Train your mind to expect the unexpected. When challenges arrive, they won't shake you because you're ready. You become like a calm river flowing around the rocks instead of crashing into them. Practice gratitude relentlessly. Gratitude is the antidote to entitlement. It reminds you that nothing is owed, not kindness, not fairness, not even understanding. When you live in gratitude, anger has no place to grow. Choose your response, not your reaction. A reaction is fast, unconscious, ego-driven. A response is deliberate, a whisper of wisdom from the deeper part of you. Remember, peace is not passive. It is powerful. It takes strength to stay calm when everything around you is in chaos. Build rituals that anchor you: journaling, meditation, stillness, reflection. These are not luxuries. They are tools for survival. They are how you return to the eye of the storm, because the world won't stop spinning, but you can stand still inside of it. Part 6. Living untouched, the practice of inner peace, prayer, a quiet walk, a moment of stillness. Whatever it is, find practices that root you in something larger than the noise of the day, because without grounding, you drift, and peace is not found in drifting. It is built in stillness. Reframe your world through acceptance. Acceptance does not mean approval. It means facing what is without resistance. It's saying, this is happening. Now, how will I meet it? Forgive quickly. Release easily. Grudges are anchors. They weigh you down. Forgiveness isn't something you give to others. It's something you give to yourself. It's how you stay light. Speak to yourself like a true friend would. When anger rises, don't scold yourself. Soothe yourself. Notice it. Breathe through it. Guide yourself back to clarity. Inner peace becomes your default through practice, not in a single day, not without setbacks, but with steady repetition. Each time you choose calm over chaos, you carve a deeper groove towards serenity. As Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. And what greater freedom is there than to no longer be a slave to anger? To walk this world untouchable, not hardened, but rooted in the deep, immovable soil of your soul. You do not control others, you control your response. And in that quiet space between what happens and how you choose to meet it, that is where your true power lives. Cultivate inner peace until it becomes your nature. Until no offense sticks, no insult wounds, no chaos shakes you, you become the stillness in the storm. This is more than Stoicism. This is freedom, not because the world is kind, not because people always behave, but because you no longer require them to. You don't rely on outside conditions to feel calm, strong, or whole. Anger isn't strength, it's a disturbance. It clouds the mind, it drains your energy. True strength is quiet, measured, unshaken. It does not swing at every insult. It doesn't flinch at chaos. Imagine living that way. Imagine walking through life without the weight of resentment, without the sting of careless words, without needing others to act right in order for you to feel right. That is freedom. When no one can shake you, you are no longer a puppet tied to the strings of others' moods, opinions, or failures. You are a mountain, steady, grounded, majestic, and when the storm comes, and it will, you do not panic, you do not curse the sky, you endure, because storms pass, but you, in your stillness, remain. This is the promise of Stoicism, not a life without pain, not a life without trials, but a life where the soul stands sovereign, unmoved by the chaos outside. So practice, reflect, strengthen your mind, and over time, you will find that anger visits you less, And when it does, it leaves quickly. You'll feel lighter, calmer, more powerful than ever, because your peace no longer depends on the world. When no one can shake you, you don't just survive, you soar. And that is what it means to truly live free. Thank you for walking this path with me. Stay grounded, stay free.